Hey there, Chris with Patch. I'm here with Marietta Mayor Josh Schlicher. So this week, big news.
Big news.
We have the Marietta Police Chief resign.
Yes.
Retire.
Retire. Right, yeah. Police Chief Rodney Hupp submitted his resignation letter on Friday, and his retirement will become effective July 16th this week.
Okay. So would you mind just telling me a little bit about the circumstances there? Because they are interesting circumstances.
Yes, briefly. Yeah, we had several months ago, we had an officer within the department submit a list of concerns that individual had with conduct on behalf of from the chief. And so our policy, we didn't want to handle that in-house. So our policy is to give that to a third-party investigator, which we did. And at the conclusion, after multiple interviews with different department staff, and after all that was compiled and put together, they submitted their report to us. And then after we reviewed that, we found that they determined that there was not conduct. And I'll read the exact statement. We put out this media release this morning, but I'll read this, that way your viewers and everybody knows what's going on. The attorney investigator's findings concluded that Chief Hupp engaged in conduct contrary to Marietta Police Department's harassment policy, but that the nature of the conduct did not rise to the level of severe and pervasive conduct necessary to establish a hostile or abusive work environment under the law. And there were also no criminal findings from this investigation. So after that was submitted, Chief Hupp decided to retire, and so that's where we're at.
Right. I don't want to dwell on it, but is there any way we can elaborate a little bit more? Is that possible on the nature of the allegations?
Yeah, they were all within the department, so we didn't have any.
Was it yelling at subordinates? Is
just some discussions that should not have taken place. There was some language that was used that was probably not appropriate for the workplace, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But yeah, there was nothing, didn't involve the public. There was no, we didn't receive any complaints from the public. We didn't really have anything other than a few words that were said and a few discussions that were had.
It was all behind the scenes here.
And it was all within the walls of the police department. And it wasn't in front of the public. It wasn't didn't involve the public. So we want to stress that this has nothing to do with the response time, the credibility of the department, or what the public should view the police department as.
Captain Needham's been the acting chief for a couple months, right now? Is that right?
I think about 6 weeks now.
6 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
And so for the meantime, he's going to continue.
Correct. Yeah. We will, just like with any promotion, the Civil Service Commission will work to find a replacement for the chief position, and we will be making changes to that procedure. It's long overdue for some upgrading and some updating of that procedure.
Okay.
But like in the past, it will be subject to some form of competitive testing and interviewing. There'll be changes, but we don't anticipate any delay of anything for the public. We'll proceed and find a replacement for him, and we wish him the best in his retirement. He's been with the city for 27 years.
Oh wow!
So it was quite a career.
Yeah.
He made changes when he came in, and and became chief. He made a lot of changes, a lot of positive changes for the department.
And how long has he been chief?
He came in 2015, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
So several years.
Okay. Yeah.
And I worked with him a little bit when I was on council, and so I knew him before being mayor. But he was in our office almost daily.
Right.
Just with keeping the communication between our office and the police department and what's going on. So we will search for his replacement. And
how long do you think that search is going to take?
We're going to be changing the procedures for like I said, for the testing
Mm-hmm.
and interviewing process. Once we get through that, it shouldn't be that long. So we're hoping within, we hope, a month or month and a half before we find a permanent replacement.
All right, cool. Well, so apart from that, there's not too much I have here. It looks like you're making some updates with the safe routes to school.
You're right. Yeah, the project started down on 7th Street. We're putting in some new sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Also at 5th and Washington Street, we've had some concerns with the rather large pole that was put in there and the mast arm. We're looking at that, trying to review plans and documents on an alternative for that. We may end up removing part of that arm,
Mm-hmm.
kind of downsizing it a little bit, painting it so it's not so.
That's at 5th and Washington?
That's at 5th and Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try to disguise that as best we can. But it's getting all new updates, pedestrian updates.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be pedestrian buttons, countdowns,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So it'll be much safer for our children and pedestrians. But the large poles, what you normally see on a 4-lane road or on an interstate with a big sign on it, and not in a small residential neighborhood.
Sure.
So it's definitely something that stands out.
Gotcha. Well, and you said with the Washington Street playground project, you're going to be ready to pour the basketball court, you said? Is that right?
Yeah, that's coming up. We're going to do some dirt work there first, which next Monday they're going to start filling in where the old court was,
Mm-hmm.
and get that compacted in, put some grading on that. And then once that's done, we're going to start preparations to pour the basketball courts. And then we got to get lighting in. We got to get a lot of conduit buried, get some lighting, electric upgrades in. And then we're pushing to get all that done by the middle of July, the end of July, in anticipation for the new playground equipment coming in, and also the equipment being moved from Harmon.
I know there's been some issues with supply chain stuff, but you're still planning on getting all the equipment in before school opens up?
We hope everything. Yeah, we may be working there the last week before school opens up just to get things tidied up. But yeah, we're hoping the main equipment comes in the second week of August. We get that set right away, and then like I said, we finish up little bits here and there. The fence is scheduled to be put in right after we get the basketball court and the other stuff done. So it's all scheduling, but we have had issues with delivery and scheduling of equipment. So just like everybody else, we've got to make changes and adapt to the circumstances.
Yeah.
But, so public driving by and they're not sure exactly what's going on there. That's what we're dealing with. We knew we planned on closing the playground for the whole entire summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew it would be timing would be hard, but anyway, we're moving forward as fast as we can on that.
Gotcha. Okay, and I think the last thing I have for you, well, I mean, you're continuing with all out rollout. You're going to be painting fire hydrants downtown.
Right, yeah.
Doing all the crack sealing. Are you still?
We're getting back on crack sealing and pothole patching. Yeah, we pulled guys off that for a couple of weeks to do some other stuff. A lot of tree trimming. We've had, I'm sure everyone's seen the trucks out with piles of branches in the back. We've been doing a lot of tree trimming. Anybody out there that has a tree in the yard, it's a city tree that is a hazard or would like it trimmed or whatever, please call our office. We'll get it on the schedule to have it looked at. and if it's appropriate to trim it, we'll trim it, or if there's another hazard and it needs to come out or whatever, we'll take appropriate action. But some things, unless we actually drive around town and really look at trees and a lot of things in detail, we don't catch some stuff. Now we do that, and we even had a crew out the other day looking at certain things like that, and our public works director was out Saturday night driving around town looking for streetlights that are out. So we are proactively checking things like that, but if anybody has a specific issue that they have in their front yard or in front of their house on the street, sidewalk issue, whatever it is, please call us and let us know.
Okay.
And we'll try our best to take immediate action.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the last thing is you're going to be getting fundraising going for the Start Westward Monument.
Right. Yeah, the Preservation Society that is led by Joe Grimm. He's doing it right. He's going to put together or they already have put together a proposal by a national reputable company that put together a lot of detailed price estimates on, or quotes on restoration of the monument and then replacing it in bronze. So they're looking at now broadening this out to the nation. Okay. And going after a lot of money for that project because it is a national treasure. We submitted, or they are submitting for that to be listed on the National Historic Places, which we thought it was, but found out that it wasn't. So they're working to get that done, and that also opens up some additional means to get a lot of different funds set aside for that. So whatever we can do, we're doing to try to get that to be the biggest successful project for Marietta and have it done in place for the country's 250th celebration, which is coming up in 2026.
That's right.
So we've got to get busy on it.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to have that all done, and I've got just a great group of people working on that behind the scenes, and it's the mayor's committee, but there's a lot of hands, a lot of knowledge, a lot of good people working on that behind the scenes. So I just it's going to be everyone's going to be proud of the work that they do when that's completed. It's really going to be a great project.
Awesome. And just one more thing, do you need people for committees still, or?
Yeah, there's a couple still. The biggest one is the Marietta Belpre Health Board. I need somebody.
You need a doctor, someone with a medical background.
Somebody that's got either a medical background or a nurse, retired nurse, or really anybody in that field. Okay. That just wants to help with policy and direction of the health department, and it's just a 1 day a month commitment for a meeting. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other things that they do, but really just 1 day a month for a couple hours for a meeting is what we're looking for.
Okay.
And I need somebody also for the Fair Housing Board. So,
right, Fair Housing. Okay. Right. Cool. You got the tree. You did get the tree commission.
Yeah, we were going to have a couple members retire from the tree commission, but they've decided to stay.
Cool.
So
all right.
They're going to stay.
So fair.
And I will have one. I'll need one for the planning commission. As soon as I'll have one member retire here pretty soon on that commission. Okay. So it's not available yet, but we'll be looking for somebody for that, and in the near future. And yep.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.